Hello and welcome back to the Job Not Done podcast. I'm your host, Jackson Hogan. And today we're going to be talking a little bit more focused on masculinity, especially in young men. Most of the time I do stuff on just general motivation, discipline, just for anybody really. You don't have to be a guy to take stuff away from this too, but I just really want to call out to the young men out there struggling. So today's topic is passivity is the kryptonite of masculinity. This is because passivity is silent, but it's also deadly, right? And it's the quiet surrender that robs men of their purpose, their strength, and their influence. So today we're going to talk about why passivity is the kryptonite of masculinity and how it sneaks into our lives, how it kind of snakes its way in, the damage it does, and most importantly, how to kill it before it kills your potential. Because, guys, that is really the biggest problem. Is it killing your potential? Because I want the best for y'all, and I want you guys to not live at 40% of your potential, 50%. I want you to live at 100. I don't want you to be shackled by passivity. I don't want you to have that kryptonite in your pocket all the time. I want you to go get it done, grind, and execute. If you ever have felt stuck, hesitant, or unwilling to step up, this episode is for you. All right, let's get right into it. So, some of the main talking points today I want to go over, I think they're really important. I think there are many you could mention on the basis of this topic. The first one is let's actually define what passivity really is. So, it's avoiding the responsibility, deferring decisions, and letting others set the tone. For example, if you are going to school and you're not the one in there asking questions, you're not going to get shit done. You're not going to understand how it works. You're not going to understand new concepts, techniques. If you're in like trades or something like that and you're not asking questions or not clarifying things, things can happen. Bad things can happen. People can get hurt. And that kind of leads me into it. It often hides behind keeping the peace or not wanting to cause conflict. What I mean by this is not going in stupid, rambunctious into a conversation with somebody or into an opportunity or, head on into something that you're not experienced for. But what it means is you have to be aggressive, but also disciplined. And that's actually one of the topics for the video coming up in a couple weeks. But what I want you to understand is if you can have this aggressive and you can have this disciplined behavior, no matter where you go, it's going to be huge for you. It's going to be huge. And for example, like let's take sports for an example. I love using sports as an example. You're playing baseball, right? And you got two strikes. You got two strikes on you. You got to be aggressive. We also got to be disciplined. Right? You can't swing at stupid shit, but you also got to swing at stuff that's close because the umpire might widen the zone a little bit if the pitcher's having a good day. Another example: you're in the classroom and you're a smart guy, smart gal, whatever, but you're not really understanding this topic. You need to be relentless in asking questions. It may seem that you're being an annoying student, but if the teacher is getting annoyed by that, they're not a good teacher. I'm sorry. If you're asking, that is literally the reason they get paid. It's for you to ask questions and for them to teach you these concepts. Like professor is in the name. It's a tutor tutoring their profession. That's literally like the word combo there, professor. They're professing what they know. And the next thing is passivity is very appealing. And why is that? Because you have comfort, there's safety, and there's no risk of failure. We talked about this last time with the fear of failure. If you don't fail, you're not even trying. If you don't fail, you're not even trying. If you don't fail, you're not going to grow. If you don't fail, you're never going to succeed because you may get lucky, and we always mention the luck aspect, and everybody gets a little lucky sometimes, but you can't rely on luck. You got to go out for it. You got to go get it, and you can't let anybody turn you down. You cannot let anybody turn you down. And this brings me to the second main talking point, the cost of passivity on masculinity itself. So the cost of the things we just listed. It erodes self-respect and it erodes personal confidence. If you can't have self-respect for yourself and you don't have confidence, you're never going to achieve anything. You have to build the confidence, and you can't let people make you disrespect yourself. You can't let them tell you, oh, you're doing too much. Oh, you're being too much of a burden. Whatever the laundry list of fucking excuses is, you got to push past that shit. You have to push past that shit, or you will never, 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 never succeed. And you're going to lose that masculinity. You're going to keep losing masculinity over time. And another thing that happens is it damages relationships. Partners lose trust when a man won't lead. And I know people are going to come at me saying that's some bullshit. Shut the fuck up. I don't really give a fuck. All right, we got the freedom of speech here. All right, a man needs to lead. A man needs to provide. A man needs to bring assurance to the household. I'm not saying that a woman can do that either, or that she can't do that, whatever. But a man has to take the charge. A man has to take the lead. A man has to stand up when no one else is willing to. Or if their partner or if your wife is going through a rough time, right? You got to step up. Or your girlfriend's going through a rough time, you got to step up. That's what it takes. And in your personal life, it's going to limit growth, opportunities, career, and even just personal growth. Like we said, self respect, personal growth. If you want to achieve things that you've never done, you're going to have to grow as somebody you don't recognize. You are going to have to grow as someone that you don't recognize. And I know it's hard, but you got to do it. You got to build momentum, right? We have this main concept of momentum throughout the last couple podcast episodes and probably in every one. I've probably mentioned momentum at least once in every episode. But the matter of fact is you don't want to create a cycle of frustration for yourself. That leads to inaction, which then just causes more frustration. And I want you guys to be happy. I want you guys to find your calling, be happy, and fucking conquer the day. Carpe diem, man. Like, I want you guys to get out there and do some crazy shit. I want you guys to be the next best thing. I want you guys to make a lot of money. I want you guys to be super successful. I want you guys to get in the fucking history books, man. That's fucking cool as shit. I want you guys to succeed above your expectations. I want you to set goals that you think you cannot achieve. That's what David Goggins says. Set goals that you think you cannot achieve. And when you start achieving those goals, you're going to be like, oh shit, I can fucking do this. I can fucking do some other crazy shit too. For example, like you start rock climbing. You're like, I'm pretty shit at rock climbing. I fucking suck. No, you don't. Fucking start climbing a couple easy ones. Be like, okay, I'm going to move up. Start climbing the harder ones. Okay, I can go only get about halfway up. My hands start to hurt, whatever. And then you're like, okay, let me set a goal for myself to do. I don't know the ratings in rock climbing, but set a high like rating. Like set for skiing. Let's do skiing because I understand skiing better. You're able to do greens, blues, black diamonds, but you want to do a double black. And you're not really sure where to start. Let's set that goal. Set that goal and then implement things in your life, strategies, time management systems, smaller goals, daily goals, like we've talked about in the past, that will allow you to eventually achieve clearing a double black diamond, which is one of the hardest, ski ratings in the world. So set those goals for yourself and don't give up, and you got to be obsessed with it. You got to be obsessed. Kind of the third talking point today is the why. Why do people fall into passivity? Well, the main thing, and quite frankly, the most important thing we'll probably talk about today, and the thing that I mentioned and was the topic of last episode, is the fear of failure or rejection. We think about this, especially guys, every day because we want to perform. Even if we're not in a relationship or have a lot of friends, we want to perform and we want to show people that we're the fucking best out there, or that we have the best endurance, or we have the smartest skills, or we have the best academic knowledge, or whatever it is. You can't let that get you down, and you have to want to fail. You have to want to fail, and you have to just go head first into the shit. I know it sucks. You go head first into the shit. That's what you got to do. Another reason is comfort and predictability. If you're in the same cycle over and over again and you're wondering why you can't break the cycle, why you can't get more success, why you can't make more money, well, clearly you're the problem. It's not people around you, it's you. It's you. Don't make these fucking excuses. Do something that's going to help you break the cycle. And it can be simple, guys. Like, for example, start small and make it something where, okay, instead of, I'll use scrolling on the phone. Instead of scrolling on the phone for 2 hours in the morning when I wake up, watching fucking people shake their ass on TikTok or whatever, maybe, okay, we'll limit it down. We'll say 5 minutes. Let me look for some motivation reels to get my ass out of bed. And then maybe you can work down to or up to, however you want to put it, to getting out of bed just off of your own cognition and being like, hey, I got work today. Let's get it started. Let's get it going. That that's where you make or break your day right there. I mean, the battle is 1 in the morning, man. It's 1 in the fucking morning. When you contemplate for 5 seconds in bed, whether you want to get up or not, you got to make a decision before those 5 seconds are up. Most of the time, you're just going to sit there in the comfort embrace of your pillow and not really give a shit and start scrolling on your phone again. Another huge thing, and this is more of a modern thing today, is the cultural message or the messaging telling men to tone it down or avoid taking a stand. If you're presenting your masculinity in a respectful way and people saying that's toxic, that's some fucking bullshit. There's no such thing as toxic masculinity. What there is masculinity and then there's toxic guys. There's a difference. There's a clear difference between that. And I know people are gonna, say some stupid shit probably, and I don't really give a fuck. Let them be, man. Let them be. Because for me, masculinity is making the most of my life, being disciplined, not giving into stupid shit, not letting my emotions control me. And it's okay to observe and have an emotional intelligence internally, but as a man, you gotta be strong. You can't let that affect you. You can't let that affect you in front of the world, at least. You gotta deal with your emotions. You gotta take a deep breath. You gotta observe and understand them, and then you gotta fucking keep going. And you can't let that shit get in your way. You set a goal for yourself, you're not letting that shit get in your way. And if people tell you it's okay to fucking just, you know, break down wherever, no, it's not okay. It's okay to have these feelings. I'm not saying you should suppress them. What I'm saying is you have to understand them, observe them internally, you know, maybe talk to somebody about it, like your parents or your friends. Keep going. Keep going. Don't let it cause a cycle of bad behaviors, bad habits, and other things that could lead you to a shitty and unfulfilled life. The next thing is overwhelming or overwhelm from too many choices or lack of direction. What I want you guys to do is make a list of things you're interested in. It could be sports, it could be entrepreneurship, making a business, whatever it is. Pick one and stick with it. And sometimes it's not going to work out. And then that's where you have to pivot. You have to pivot like we talked about 2 episodes ago. and you pivot and you're able to make an adjustment, that you're already making yourself an outlier by doing that. By being able to pivot and adjust, you are becoming an outlier. It's that simple. It's that simple. Are you going to have failures? Absolutely. It ain't going to be easy. I say this like it's easy, but it's fucking not. Trust me, I have many experiences in my life where I've had to pivot, adjust, reconfigure, recalibrate, all these things. The next thing, and I think this is a really important talking point for today, calling it the antidotes or the intentional action. So, how, Jackson, do I become more masculine, and how do I not let passivity deteriorate me or become my kryptonite? So, small daily acts of decision making will build momentum for you guys. It is incredible. When you build up momentum, even over a week, it doesn't have to be crazy things. Like, you don't have to, like, if you set up a project goal for yourself, you don't got to finish it in a day. But if you work 30 minutes on that project every day for a week, like, that's a ton of time you just spent. And now you are building momentum. The next week is, okay, what do I do differently to keep building momentum? Where's the next step in the project? How do I finish the project if it's within the time parameters or within when you have to finish it for a deadline or work or school? It doesn't matter. You need to build momentum. If you're not doing that, you are hurting yourself. And by this, I mean stepping into discomfort. Choose the challenges over the comfort. Choose the hard path over the easy one. If you're trying to lose weight and you work a 9 to 5 sitting at a desk job all day, maybe instead of parking closer, go park back in the back of the parking lot, get some more steps in. It's a little thing, and it's not going to be an overnight difference, but you're going to get more steps in. You're going to burn a little bit more calories, and you're going to feel better over the span of a month, maybe. And if you add that behavior or that habit over a month, and you're like looking at all the amount of calories you burned, you're like, holy shit. And then you build confidence from there. You're shattering that kryptonite that is preventing you from becoming the man you want to be or the person you want to be. So set non negotiables for yourself, boundaries, values, daily habits. I mean, this is the stuff of legends right here. This is what the best of the best do. They set goals, they write things down, they plan things out, and when something doesn't go according to plan, they pivot and adjust, just like we talked about. And the most important thing in your journey in becoming a more masculine man is you have to take responsibility for outcomes, whether you win or lose. That's the biggest part of being a leader and being a man today is knowing when to be honest with yourself and taking responsibility for the bad days, for the bad outcomes, whatever it may be. Because if you don't do that, none of the other shit behind that matters. Because you're not being an honest person. Your values are deteriorating when you don't take responsibility. And you're becoming less masculine. Even if you do all those other things beforehand, it, it's not appealing to anybody, man. It's really not. And the last main talking point is the ways to break passivity. Start your day with one decisive action. Like we talked about with the scrolling. You either set that goal for less scrolling and focus on like motivational content, or you say, I'm going to do this instead. I'm just going to get up and even if it brush my teeth, even though I'm not really doing anything to contribute to making money or being successful, I'm doing it for me and I'm doing it to, keep my dental hygiene good. Okay, that's a W. It's small. It's very small in the grand scheme of your entire life's goals, aspirations, and journeys and manifests, whatever. But it's a start. When you get up, when you can say good, like Jocko Willing says, when you can say the word good, when you can see a problem in front of you and you can say good, you're still alive. You are still breathing. Like the statistical odds that you are breathing alive and thriving on this planet is so fucking low, man. It is so goddamn low. So low. And being alive is a gift, man. It is such a gift. Being alive is a gift. I don't care what all the fucking naysayers say about some bullshit where like, oh, people weren't, born into this world. And if you're living, it's still a privilege. At birth, we're all handed a different deck of cards, and how you play that cards depends on your future. Right? You can start with a bad hand. You play your cards right, you can end up in a much better spot. Yet you could start with a good hand of cards and play them badly and end up in a worse spot. So don't take valuable life for granted. Next thing, speak up in situations where you normally stay quiet. If you're in a group project, say, hey, I want to do this. Be authoritative, but don't be stupid about it. Don't be hostile about it. Right? Have a presence, have a tone, but make it a constructive tone where you're not pointing other people's flaws out, or you're not trying to say why their viewpoint or why their idea for the group project is worse. Maybe try to consolidate, take the lead. So your idea is out there, and who knows, maybe they'll like it more than their own. And then please initiate, guys. You gotta initiate. Don't wait for the perfect moment. If you just wait for the fucking stars to align, that's never gonna happen, man. You can't wait for the perfect moment. It's the little moments day by day, endeavoring through that discipline and motivation to get shit done. Because if you wait for the perfect opportunity, it's never going to become. If you wait for the perfect opportunity, it's never going to come. You're going to have to do the little things outside that no one cares about, create those opportunities for yourself. Create the perfect moment. Professional athletes, for example, they don't wait for the perfect moment in the game. They practice like it's the fucking Super Bowl. Tom Brady says this. When he was a backup quarterback, third string, he was like, hey man, I only got 2 reps, but I got to make those 2 reps like it's the fucking Super Bowl out there. I'm not a big football guy, but that shit's inspirational. If you're a soccer player, it doesn't matter. Athlete, student, business person, it doesn't even fucking matter. You got to make every rep count like it's the World Series, like it's the championship game, like it's fucking end all be all. And when you do that shit in practice, it makes it so easy in games that you don't have to wait for the perfect moment, and the perfect moment creates itself. The last thing I want to say here, surround yourself with men, surround yourself with people who model decisive and courageous living. Don't lower your standards just to appeal to someone. And they're not even going to support you. Surround yourself with the men, surround yourself with the people that are going to support you, that are going to be decisive, and that are going to want to grow with you, and that see your vision. Don't give those fucking assholes the time of day that are not going to push you to your best potential, to your highest potential, because they truly don't give a shit and just want to live an average life. That's it. They want to live an average, coasting life, living at 40% of their fucking potential and not even care. I mean, most people only live about half their potential, man. I mean, they don't realize it. because the fear of failure gets to them. The fear of being rejected gets to them. So I'll say this to end, guys. Passivity doesn't just fade away on its own. You have to kill it with action. You have to destroy it with that recalibration mindset, with that adjusting mindset. Every time you take ownership of something, every time you step forward, instead of shrinking down, shrinking back, you reclaim a piece of your masculinity. Greatness doesn't belong to the man who waits. It belongs to the man who moves. Don't let the kryptonite win. All right, guys, thanks for watching this podcast episode. I appreciate your viewership on all the short form media. Really means a lot to me. Make sure to subscribe, comment, leave a rating on Spotify. Check out the other socials. And remember this, guys, the work's not done, and that's because the job's not done. All right, I'll see y'all later. Peace.